Hey guys, Eternize here. Today we're gonna dissect 3 top performing hardstyle leads. We're gonna look at what elements make up the lead, what these individual layers sound like, and also a bit of the processing to get to that final lead sound. The leads we're gonna dissect are Nothing Else Matters by Sani, Darkest Hour by D-Block Estefan and Sub-Zero Project, and Shivers by D-Block Estefan and Randy. There is something to learn from all of them, so let's get into it. Alright, the first track, Nothing Else Matters from 2007. This is what the recreation sounds like. So, the thing about this lead is that I believe the original lead is just 1 or 2 layers playing the same notes. And I imagine he used a synth like a virus for the lead, but I'm using Silent 1, so in order to get the same sound, I had to split it up into more layers. So here we have 3 layers for the upper notes and 2 layers for the lower notes. The upper notes sounds like this. So let's look at how the upper layers are made. The main upper layer is actually a quite simple saw patch. And that's kind of the identity of the track, right? It's very saw-like and raw. And by the way, guys, every preset you see in this video is also included in my lead pack. So if you want the exact same sounds, link is in the description. So that's one part of the character of the lead, but the next 2 layers are adding a lot to it. So these are meant to add body to the lead. And as you can see, one is on the same octave as the top lead and the other is 1 octave below. And this is a nice little trick to fill up the lead body. Let's see what it does when it's added to the top lead. So that really gives the upper notes a lot more body, and the subtle pitch vibrato also adds to the character. Now to the lower notes. Now, for the lower notes, those are the exact same patches as the top lead, but they're processed a little differently to closer resemble the original. So for example, this is the EQ on the lower notes, and this is the EQ on the top lead. This is part of the reason why I had to split it up, because the upper notes and the lower notes needed different treatment to sound right. Finally, the lower notes are also split into each of their own octave. And when we put all the sounds together, we get this beautiful lead. For the total lead processing, there's a bit of corrective EQing, a bit of low-end energy control, and then you see this bit crusher, which is practically adding distortion. And I added it because the lead felt a bit dry when compared to the original. Let's take a listen to it. So if you notice, the mix is only at 9%, which means that this is only adding a bit of low-level distortion and grit to the signal. And this is somewhat similar to adding tape saturation or other low-level distortion processing. It just adds a bit of body to the lead, which I thought it needed. Next up is Darkest Hour. Let's take a listen to the recreation. Alright, so this lead is made up of a top lead, a support lead, and a chord layer which is split into 2. And this is like the typical setup for a modern hardstyle lead, right? Top lead, support lead, and chords. That's all you really need to make up the meat of the lead sound. So, the top lead. This is the patch of the top lead. It's the clean 30, and in the lead pack it's conveniently called Darkest Hour because it really sounds like Darkest Hour. It's a saw patch with added LFO and a pitch envelope from low to high on every note. The interesting thing is the processing, because as you can hear, the high frequencies are actually heavily filtered out. And objectively speaking, this layer sounds way better with the high frequencies. But what this is actually heavy unmasking. So the high frequencies are filtered out on this layer because this leaves space for other layers in the lead with high frequencies that are then going to fill this out. This is 100% a mixing decision, and this is just one out of many ways you can approach mixing a lead. Let's move on to the support lead. So this is support lead 31. It's a super wide and heavily detuned saw patch. If you've seen my video about pairing lead sounds, you'd know that a sound like this, which is super detuned, usually go really well with clean and simple top layers. And this is one of those cases. Like the first layer, this one also has the high frequencies filtered out. And together with the top lead, it sounds like this. Alright, the next layer is the chord, and even though there are two layers, it should be viewed as one. Let's take a listen. This is chord number 14. It's the same chord I use for my track Ride With Me, and it's just a very clean and all-round chord patch. So first off, the chord is very bright, right? And if we look at the EQ, it's looking just as expected, very extreme. However, this is part of the unmasking tactic that I explained before, because this is going to fill out those high frequencies that we filtered out earlier. So even though this sounds very bright and out of balance on its own, it makes sense in the context of the lead. Take a listen to this. Right? That works beautifully. And if we've kept the high frequencies on the top lead layers, the high end would definitely have been too overpowering. Now, for the total lead processing, it has an inflator on it for saturation and an OTT to add aggression. Let's listen to it with and without those effects. So it doesn't seem like the inflator is doing a whole lot, right? And you're right, on the surface it's not very obvious. But what it does is that it kind of tucks the lead in and makes it more coherent. And also, perhaps more importantly, it manages dynamics and takes care of peaks before going into the compressor. So it does play its part. For the OTT, it's mostly just for the attack, right? It adds a nice attack and consistency to the lead. And that's really it for the processing. Alright, the last one, Shivers. This one is made up of 3 top layers and 1 chord layer. Let's listen to it. Alright, the top lead is Clean and Distort 37, and the sound is mostly created by the LFO. It sounds like this. Now, to go with the first top layer, we have this second layer, which is the Clean 6. This is 1 octave above the first layer, and it really helps giving it more character and make it stand out more. I really like how it doesn't disrupt the character of the first layer, but just adds that interesting octave above it. It's a super simple layer on its own, but it just goes so well with it. The third layer is the support layer. The preset is support lead 25, and the role of this layer is not to add more to the character, but instead add body and width to the existing lead sound. It sounds like this. So it does a lot to beef up the lead, but again, it does so without being invasive and without changing the character or balance of the lead. It really does a good job here. The last layer is the chord. It's the preset chord 5. It's super clean and it does a good job at filling up the lead, even though the chord is not a dominating component in this lead. Here's what it sounds like. Now, for the processing, there's actually not much to talk about. The individual layers barely have any processing on them. All they have is a tiny bit of EQing, and for the lead group, it's pretty much the same processing here as before. It has an inflator to add consistency and deal with dynamics, then it has an OTT, and after that it has some tonal shaping. That's really it. So, to me, the simple processing in this lead really shows us that what making a good lead really comes down to is the sounds that goes in it. It's the skill of sound selection. Now granted, some leads do require more processing, but I think it's wild that this lead can be made from so few sounds and so little processing. And honestly, without glazing myself, the fact that the sounds in this lead are just raw presets from my preset pack is kind of a quality stamp. So guys, let me know what you think about this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.